Okay, year five. Let's have a quick look at this scratch, and I'm going to guide you through how to build a simple maze game. I know that's what we've been working on, and I'm sure you're doing really well with your gobo mazes or equivalent of that. But for those of you that are struggling a little bit, I know it's difficult when we're not in school and stuff to get your head into it. I'm just going to guide you through some of the build process of this. So we're going to use the cat here. It's going to be our character in our maze. Actually, no, I think we'll change it. We'll have a different character. Let's choose a character that we're going to put in our maze. It's going to let's have a little look here. We used Gobo last time. Let me decide which one should we use for our little maze game here. Let's go to maybe an animal. Let's have a look at the animals and see what we've got here. Yeah, let's have Dot here. Okay, let's use Dot. Alright, so Dot's our little character for the maze game here. Now, so we'll leave Dot there for the moment. We might need to make Dot a bit smaller, but first of all we need to really think about drawing our maze. So I'm going to go to the backdrop, the stage over here. I wonder if I turn the magnifier on, whether that might help with the video a little bit. Let's have a little look here. So I'm going to go over to the stage over here, and let's just see if I can zoom in a little bit, if I remember the keys. Well, that zooms you in. So yeah, so down here to the stage, so over here. Okay, I'm going to go back out again. Not sure if that's actually working. Anyway, we'll come back to that. Okay, so yeah, so on the stage here, I'm going to get ready to draw my maze first of all. I know I'm on the stage because it's highlighted blue over here. Let's move this little circle out of the way again. It's highlighted blue over here, and I know I'm on the stage because it says there are no motion blocks over here, which there shouldn't be any motion blocks on the stage because it doesn't move. So I'm going to go to backdrops, and this time I'm going to have a slightly different colour. Let's have sort of maybe some green walls this time round, or yeah, let's go for green walls. So have some green walls this time round. Okay, and we're going to draw those walls. Okay, set the colour, the outline. We probably need to make the outline the same as this colour here. So we can use the numbers 33, 100, 100, and we can set that up on here. So 33 and 100 and 100. So that gives us our outline, and that's going to draw our outline. Or we could have no outline. Actually, we could set that to no outline, make it transparent, and then it just draws the shapes anyway. So if I start with drawing out the walls, the quickest way is to draw them as rectangles. So this is, imagine this is level 1 again. I can draw the rectangles out for the walls, and of course because they're objects we can move them around the stage. We want them so they just sort of go off the edge of the stage, like that. Okay, and we can duplicate those as well. So if I click on it again with the select tool, I can copy, and then I can paste, and we get another one which I can move further down. So don't forget to use the copy and paste tool. It's really useful for drawing things out. Okay, so we don't have the outline edge, so let's go back to the stage again. I clicked on the sprite there, and it's useful to have the green around the outside. So the way you can do this is you can change, we don't want to fill this in this time, but we do want to have the outline, which is what we set up. So we could use the colour picker here to pick the exact colour. So that's the colour picker tool there. We can use the colour picker to pick the exact colour, and we might want to make it a little bit thicker, and get the tool here, and we can put a green box around the outside. It doesn't have to be very thick. It's just to act as a, so that when the character, if the character touches it, it's gonna go back to the start. So it just doesn't go off the edge of the stage, really. I suppose it's stopping that from happening. Okay, so so that's level 1 really sort of sorted out, and you can duplicate that level, and by right clicking up here and go to duplicate, you can duplicate that level, and then you can pick these up and decide to move them around, or you can get rid of them completely and then obviously set it up so that it's a different shape or a different pattern or whatever you want, or different, you know, you can do free draw them, you can use different shapes to make them and all sorts of things, but it's really important that you leave the colour as a solid green. Or if you want to use a different colour, what you could do, I suppose, is you could well, we can come on to that in a bit, but you can use different colours. It just means a bit more coding for you, but it also, you could gradient fill the middles and leave the outlines still that green colour, so the outer edges are the green colour. But we can, yeah, you can change the colours and have different colours, but it requires a little bit more coding, and perhaps that's something we can touch on later on. Okay, so now we've got our level 1 here that we're going to use, and we can see that looking at the level, we can see that our character's not going to work because it's too big. It's too big to fit through the maze, so we're going to have to change the size of this character. I'm sure you can remember how to do that, but you don't do it in here. Okay, you don't need to change its size in here because you have this part of the screen which is all about the properties of this sprite. Yeah, so this is called a sprite. The sprite's called dot, and this is all the properties of it. So where it is on the screen. Yeah, so this is, you know, this is its position. This is whether we can see it or not see it. This is, and here we have its size, which we're going to adjust in a minute, and here we have its rotation. So where it's pointing. Yeah, so where it's pointing to. Okay, so we don't need to change its costume, but we do need to change its size. So let's try making it half the size, so 50%. Yeah, that's going to work quite well. That 50% there is going to work quite nicely. So now that's really done the sort of setup of the stage and stuff, and the character. And now we've got to get some code going to make this work. So we're going to, first of all, we're going to pick up the dot and pop it at the start. Yeah, I'll pop it at the start. Okay, and that's it. We're kind of set up the stage, and we're now ready for the code. Now I'm going to stop the video there, and we'll go and I'll set up the next video, which will be about how to write some code for this as well. Okay, see you in a minute.